Okay, hello everyone. So, in today's stream of VTubing my slow life hobbies in my 30s, I, Sugi Yamagawa, your host, we're going to be making a shop blower today. So this is kind of be like another stream where we're basically making stuff to help make more stuff. So, some of you may be wondering what's a shop blower. Well, let me introduce you to our star for the day. This is a blower housing. This is basically what's inside your furnace or air handler. This is the thing that moves air throughout your home in a traditional HVAC system. And you can basically set these up to blow air and provide ventilation in your shop. And that's actually what we're going to do today with this. So that's that. But just to update on the parasol stand build, because I was actually working on it a little bit just before stream. There it is. I've almost got everything dialed on it. That's kind of the reason why I haven't been talking too much about it, because it's taken a little bit of time to kind of get like everything like dialed in on it. The wing on that side there, I gotta drop that probably like 3/4 of an inch, and I should have like the wings, and I figured out the height of the spacers I need for the miter saw and all that fun stuff. So that build's coming along. It's a lot of like fine tuning and fussing and messing with like a whole bunch of small things. So I've got that going on. But today, this is our star. So we've got a couple things we gotta do. For one, and I'm really probably gonna hurt myself on sheet metal today. I want it to be like this, where it's blowing out here, turning around. Here's the inside. Woo! And if anyone here genuinely thinks this looks grubby, this is absolutely nothing compared to how grubby it was when I cleaned it yesterday. So this blower housing assembly, this actually came out of my old HVAC system that I used to have, that I switched it out in April this year? Yeah, it was late April this year. So I pulled a whole bunch of parts from it and was like, ideas for things. So first things first, we need to stop this doing the roly-roly, because if it were to roly-roly like this, it would hit me. So put that there. And eventually it's going to stop rolling. Eventually. So, first idea is we're going to take a piece of scrap metal, similar to this, and then we're basically going to make a wedge, and we're going to attach it to the bottom part. So, actually, an idea. Actually, wait, I should have. Ouch! I'm sorry if that hurt your ears. It hurt mine more. We need to figure out roughly around about a place where we want to attach a piece of sheet. So give myself a line. And we're kind of going to aim for that line. So, for a sheet metal, get it. There we go. Actually, I need sheet metal and Bottom of the sheet metal box. Where's the tool I want? Bottom of it. Oh. Bend it over. Now we have a wedge. The idea is attach here. Should give a little bit of like a springboard. Prevent it from going in directions we don't want it to go in. That is an undesirable outcome. And is this one of my opened? It's an unopened. I thought I grabbed an open one. Oh, okay. So apparently my sheet metal, my self-tapping sheet metal screws. I thought I grabbed a bag that was already open, and I did not grab a bag that was already open. And I also very genuinely hope that this is going to be the thing that helps. Oh, I'm going to start by pre-drilling. Hang on. So I'm going to pre-make at least 2, possibly 3 holes. Because it's going to be fun attaching it if I don't pre-drill any holes. Okay. 2 holes. Third. And we got our third. Hang on. Since I've been using that screw to pre-drill holes, I'm gonna pick a different one. So we got 3 holes in our piece of sheet metal. And we're now gonna attach our piece to the floor housing. So heal it. Hopefully. I don't know how easily these screws are metal. About to find out. Ooh. Oh, okay. I was not expecting that to be that easy, and wow. It actually was that easy. Nice. Okay. Oh. It's 2 screws in. We'll get a third, and it's not going anywhere. There we go. So, let's see. Our rolling issue. Okay, so it is a little. It doesn't want to stay perfectly where we want it to, but that's fine. I think that's just because, like, so it's leaning this way towards the camera, simply because of the fact that that's the side the motor's on, and the motor's very heavy. Because one of my initial visions for this build was to actually build a wood frame, because a wood frame would make it easier to attach this electrical box and a few other things we're going to have happening later on. I didn't want to do that because this thing is already going to be egregiously heavy as is, and I didn't want to make it any heavier. So, yay, we have it at a point where we can now work with it. So I'm trying to think, what should I do next? Should we do the electrical? I think we're gonna do the electrical work now. Yeah, we're gonna do the electrical work. So we're gonna let's actually come back to the bench. So you might be noticing I've got 3 toggles here. Well, this blower housing assembly, grab our cords, has all these wires, and these different wires do different speeds. Well, so this white wire here, this is actually your common or your neutral wire. And then these 4 wires, we've got orange, red, blue, and black. These are speeds. So we're gonna attack. So with this shop blower, we're gonna have 3 toggles. 1 toggle is gonna go to 3 of these wires. One's gonna get cut off and capped. And this will give us speed controls. And actually what our speeds are, orange is low, red is medium low, blue is medium high, and then black is high. So we basically have speeds 1, 2, 3, 4. And then all this is all gonna come up here. So back to the blower. Thinking we already have like this capacitor hanging out, and also, by the way, this is what's called a PSC motor. It's PSC stands for permanent split capacitor. So, i.e., there's always a capacitor separate from the motor. Some blower motors will actually have capacitors built into them. Any sort of like electronically computated motor that will have capacitors in what's called a top hat. Like there will be like a top thing on top of like the actual motor housing, and that's just a really fancy motor. This is actually your basic motor, at least compared to what has like traditionally been on the market. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by getting me some, actually, let's grab the screw from earlier that we were using to pre-drill. We're gonna pre-drill some holes. Quick test. So I'm spinning the inner blades, you can kind of see it there, just below the capacitor. I just wanna, since I put some screws into it to get that like bottom sheet metal plate to keep this from being too rocky, I just wanted to check and make sure that these screws weren't so long that, granted, I mean, these are 1/4-inch screws, are pretty short. It'd be not fun if they weren't working. So we're gonna pre-drill this right quick. Ideally, if I can get the screws out. Good. I think I might only pre-drill 2 of the holes for this, because I'm gonna use 4 screws to mount it. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and work with 2. So for the mounting, find a nice spot. I don't want, ooh, actually, now I want it to be a little bit more easy reach. Down there. There we go. Let's screw 1. I'm going to put 4 screws in to mount this box to the motor housing. I feel like that's the amount I need to do to keep. And with just 2 now, it's feeling pretty good. I want to keep it, I want the box to be like kind of like high up. Because this whole thing is actually going to sit on the floor, and I don't know if I'm going to eventually keep that plate on the bottom. That's mostly to keep it from rocking for now. Eventually, I might use some like drive slides or S slides to create like a lighter exterior frame versus than the wood one I was originally planning to make. Ooh. It was a little too hard with that trigger. There we go. That box is not going anywhere. So we have that securely mounted. Now I just want to bring my wires in. I got that tool. I'm gonna need. And I got one. There we go. Okay. So, let's show this off. I'm kind of like impress people a little bit. YouTuber who can do electrical work. Kind of. So, wires in. Hopefully I have plenty of length. Ooh. Okay, so that's... So that's going to be an obvious thing now, is the wire, my chase I have in here might only be good enough for like 2 wires, if that. So I'm just trying to get as many wires as I can. Might have to knock. I think I might have to knock more. But ideally, I would like. I've got 6 wires. Yeah, 6 wires. So get 3 through one hole. I can knock out another one. Oh, hope. Ooh, ooh, you're so close. I feel it. Ooh, yeah. Almost once. Here. Let's see. Let's grab. Cool. There we go. Cool. Got those 3. So. How do I want to bring that? Bring them in here. Aesthetically, that would probably be 2. Better. And like there. Yeah. We'll do that. So, screwdriver. Should be enough to break that tab open. Apparently it wasn't. Okay. But I've got it opened up enough now to wedge it. Then I'm gonna grab I need actual needle noses at this point. Probably need actual. With actual needle noses. Actually, I feel like I can do. I feel like. Oh, well, this is actually a better shot. Trying to get it off. Or at least up enough to ideal option. Maybe. No. There we go. Cool. Cool. I don't know where. Yeah. I did. I only have to get 2 in through here. Fine. Good. What's wires to worry about? Orange. Oh. Where I want it. Maybe. There we go. Sweet. So we got our red, our orange, we have all of our wires. Then eventually at some point, not right now, but later on, all the wires running along the side, we'll get them all nice and zip tied up and get them look pretty, get them out of the way. We got our wires in. And this is actually the part where, generally speaking, going into this build, I was pretty confident about my preparedness. That might go out the window just now. I need to figure out how exactly. So these wires that you see now, these are all my outbounds. Well, I also need to have some inbound wire. Oh, I actually have like whip here. And judging by the design, okay, cool. So it looks like if I put a 1/2-inch hole somewhere in the side of this thing, probably in here, seems like a good spot. Have all the wires in one spot. I could be able to just mount that on the side. Now, I say that's the vision we're gonna go with. I need you, drill, and then it. Now no longer buried in the tool bag. Okay. So I got my very bit. 1/4, 7/8, 1/2 is there. So 1/2 is this tick mark. That. So, ourselves, I believe, a 1/2-inch hole. Granted, thing, yeah, because that's just how this built. I kind of would like these wires to be longer. I also need to consider how I want to it. Because if these wires are this short, this might actually be kind of a pain in the butt. I wonder if there's a way to take that off. I'm going to fiddle with this for a little bit, and I'm going to see if I can't somehow make my life a little bit my wire links, because this is all the wire I've got to work with inside the box. It's get wired. It's not the kind. It's not the amount of wire I want, though. Nowhere near the amount of wire. Oh, good thing the very bit can do bigger. So we made it a little bit bigger. Or at least. Okay. Okay. Well, that's also as big as the very bit will go. So I Well, wait a second. The box. But it's catching there, so not going to be as aesthetic as that will work. So this is going to be our input power with woefully short wires. Not excited about it. Top that is going to have its use, but not a whole lot. So we're not going to worry about that ground wire, because getting the ground wire is going to be a pain. So for the wiring, I want as much as I can get. So, first off, really made their. They really put insulation on their wires back in the 90s, which is actually when this blower was made, back in the 90s. This was actually from the HVAC, well, the furnace that was original to my home. And my home was built in the early 90s, so this is early 90s. It's old. And the wires are actually. So, grab some wire nuts. So I'm going to use yellow wire nut. What I want to do is neutral's the connection I'm worried the least about. So I'm just gonna twist my wires together and put a cap on it. And this will connect the neutral from the blower to the neutral coming off from the whip. Okay, that feels reasonably tight. Reasonably happy about it. Not gonna express too much excitement for my next piece of wiring, because the next piece of wiring is gonna be more complicated than that. So not complicated part, and that is black. So black is the high speed on the blower setting, and we're just going to cut it off. We're not going to use high speed. Okay, I'll use an orange because this is just getting capped. I'm not going to have wires under. Or honestly, just park it in. I know you will. So, the fun part of this build is, so this is going to be input power, and we're going to send that input power to one of our three remaining speeds. And for that, we're going to need scrap wire. I have a little bit of scrap wire. I don't know if it's all the scrap wire. The only issue with this is I'm basically going to have a wire nut that's going to have like 4 wires underneath of it, because it's going to have this main wire, and then there's going to be a wire coming out of that wire nut that's going to run to all the 3 toggle switches, and then these are all going to get tied in at the top of the toggle switch, so that way when you flip the switch on, that will complete the circuit. Right now, Ripping some wires and getting ready to. Really glad I got the. Really like the size of the box, considering how many like different wires and such I'm gonna have in here. Always sucks when you're like wiring in a real small space. It sucks. I don't like wiring in small spaces. Okay, that's 2 of my wires prepped. I'm gonna have to grab a white because keep scrap wire. Always keep your scraps. That ain't. Not all on it. There we go. Cool. So we got those wires. We got these wires prepped. And these are all gonna go on the connection there. Which is kind of the skeeviest part of the wiring for this thing, is gonna be getting all these wires under one wire nut, but I'm using a really good wire nut, so I'm hoping to make this work. But a little bit more of a bend in that. Get a good angle. Better. Oh man, it's gonna work, but man, I do not like the idea of putting or not. Problem is, everything aligned. Horrendously difficult. Should be that. One bend and too close. Problem is I'm trying to like pinch far away back electrical connection, but like the hard part. This is like the hardest part of this build for me personally. I feel like if I can get not want to pull out that wire, does not want to pull out that wire, does not. Cool, cool, cool. Yay! Cool. So we have all of our hot connectors. So all these are going to be our incoming hots, and then these are going to go our outbound. So needle noses. So preparation for instead a hook. Toggle switches. Do they have? I mean, I'll probably honestly just use the. Or could just stab them in. Wait, don't screw it. We'll just stab them. We'll stab them in. We'll be fine. I mean, that's a great thing about like you're doing like shop stuff. This isn't always super high quality, so step is cutting spade connectors, because we cannot use these for a toggle switch. Okay. Well, strip. Really? Could be enough. Ooh. Blue. Okay, there's red. So that's all those. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the Doki Doki Waku Waku fun part of in here. So the switches are 15. These are just like standard like 15 amp switches. So you can make your electrical connections two ways with these. You can wrap your wire around the connection nut, put like a little like hook in it, screw it down. That's one way. But you also have like a little hole here. So you can just like take your wire, slide it in like that, and it doesn't pull out. Like the easy way of doing it. For this wire, I need to grab my needle. 1 second. Whoops. I now have a Wait, what? Did we drop out? Huh. Wonder if we dropped out or something. Exciting. Okay. So, test it. Give it a nice little pull. Cool. So, I'm also gonna just grab. Hey, buddy, my Discord's almost done. Do you want an invite? Sure. Here's a Phillips. But yeah, good guy. I'll take an invite. I suppose. Oh man, that was skipping. I'm gonna write that. 1 second. I need to find. Oh yeah, that's the right bit. Cool. Wait. Sweet. So a lot of various electrical components. Really hard to see. Sorry. If I zoom out, that's better. Like a square chuck. It looks like a Phillips. You can use a Phillips. It's just if you're doing like electrical stuff, like with these like toggle switches and various other electrical. Usually the square chuck works best. But we're about to find out. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's that one. And time for the lower one. There we go. First switch. Granted, it's not going to control anything because there's no power to it. Okay, cool. Sweet. So we have our first power. That's why I made my white wire a little bit longer because I wanted to provide power out to this toggle switch. Black. The second black. So it's up. And then like in the first one, with the solid wire, we're just going to go ahead and do a standard, just push it in. Because that's the easy way to do it. And then upper connection, we're going to go ahead. Actually, I wonder if I can get my drilling on. Oh my. There we go. Oh man, this is make it a lot quicker. So that secure. Yay. Mount or switch to frame. Before I don't like to tighten both down immediately. Simply due to the fact that it's, if I do both at the same time, it can be a little hard to work with the other, so I like to get them started. And then I get to cut stuff up with Mom's mini chainsaw on Sunday. Oh, that's fun. Well, good guy, if you end up needing someone to bring bigger chainsaw, I do. Well, you know I have bigger chainsaw. You know I have it. Wait. Oh. 2 for our third and final switch. There's just an insect flying around making like a reasonable amount of noise, but more noise than I expect from an insect, so. What? That? A nice hook on it. I don't know. We're gonna find out later if it doesn't work though. Started. Okay, top end. Now time for the bottom. Okay. So, actually, just one quick thing before we move further. I want switches seem ever so slightly off, so I'm gonna grab my little plate. Oh. So, off. This one is off. You were looking off. Good to know it's confirmed. I think what it is. Top one. That should fix it. We'll test it again and we'll make sure. We don't want to do like repeats. Yay! Yay! Actually, I like that because originally, normally, I think you would want them flipped. But if I want to kill it, I just have to flip down. So that's actually really fun. But before we put the cover on and like actually commit to all what we've done so far for this, trying to see here. Not sure if you can see, but see if this turns on. See if this works. Let's see if. Wait, if I plug into that socket, will I kill? We'll find out. You only live once. Okay. So we're test low. It works. It's low. Low works. Okay, okay. Let's try mid-low. Ooh. And next is mid-high. Yeah. Oh, wow. Ooh, that was blowing some stuff around. Okay, okay. Oh, yay! It works. It works. Yeah. Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting. Okay, cool. So, I did not screw up my electrical connections. Also, just another note, this capacitor has kind of seen better days. And if I was cleaning this blower housing assembly and sticking this back into someone's house, that capacitor would get replaced. But this is a shop build. I'm not worried about. No. Oh. We've got our fan speeds. The wiring is good. So, go ahead and put this cover on and cover up all the wires. Yay! I'm actually really excited. I was like, I was kind of like mentally reviewing the wiring I needed to do for this. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing with the wiring, but I'm not 100% sure. Actually, wait. I bet stuck. Does that technique work? Yay! That technique always works unless I drop it on the floor. There we go. Yeah. Also, for some of you may or may not know, but I've had some pretty chaotic starts to some of my streams these days. Recently. Bump the camera. And I'm just gonna actually like hand tighten these because that's literally the best to do these. There we go. That's the first one. Yay. But like today's start was actually really nice. I felt scared. Felt like I'd done everything that I needed to do before stream in order to like have like a good stream. So I'm really excited about all that simply because I feel like I'm getting. Will I be able? Did I overcommit? Brute force it. Oh, or wait a second. This actually all came together. So if I just then loosen this. Okay. Let's see. Reshift that because it worked earlier. And it looks like all my. I need to either shift this switch that way or those more towards the switch. I want this to look nice, man. I want it to look nice. Well, who cares if it has to look? I mean, I'm not concerned about perfect. Or what's the most reasonable course of action in terms of switches? That one's like kind of over, that one's kind of over. Oh well, we got the square chuck power stuff. Should be able to find. Because I have a pretty. Those are. See, that's all. Great. So let's commit to this and we'll see where we go. But I feel like that was our problem earlier, is because earlier it seemed like we were good. just now. Okay. And actually, see all the toggle switches. Hopefully all this stays put. Oh. Okay. Yeah, whenever you're working with like painted screws, anytime you're working with painted fasteners, generally speaking, you want to use hand tools. If you use power tools on them, they will tend to mar the paint, and that is an undesirable outcome. Usually. Depends on the person. Now, if only I could stop dropping screws, I would really appreciate that. Have to go Phillips for these. Have to pick Phillips. And cool. That's 3 out of 6. Sad that this has been coming along pretty well. I feel like I've been a little too hectic with some of the stuff I've been doing on the channel and stuff, so kind of feels nice to just like take it easy with something pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Granted, I mean, this is actually my first time making something like this, so. But channel is taking it, is learning new things, but also just like doing new things and just building out that sweet skill set, which is a huge reason why I will happily stream the Notebook. I am not. I mean, I would like to be entertaining. I would like for people to like learn or take something away from the stuff I do. But as long as I walk away from this with an expanded skill set, I really don't care if I'm like quote unquote successful. I'm just a hobbyist. I am just doing this for the funsies. What a glorious funsies it is. Okay. You down. Rescue another screw off the ground. Okay. So one more screw, and then we're gonna start we're gonna tidy up the wires that we got hanging off to the side, because we have spinny blades. We don't want spinny blades. Don't want wires getting into our spinny blades. That's an unideal situation. So we got our control box to fit. Oop. You know what? I'm waving my hands around, probably could disconnect power. That whip is reasonably secure. So we need a better way to do that than with wire ties. Haha. So for the initial wire tying up, I'm just going to start bundling. Great. Just a couple bundles of wires here and there. Yeah, I should do that. I should go ahead and tie the wires into the support arm. There we go. Oh, they're there. Hell yeah. There we go. Hell yeah, that looks a lot better. This is actually look like it's made by someone who knows what they're doing. It might be someone who knows what they're doing. And I need to grab good old lesbian side cutters. Or so co-workers. Strand. There we go. Oh, this is starting to look like a build. So, and get some order in me. So another thing with like whenever you do something like this, well, make a blower like this. So you might notice that this is basically a fan, but we don't call the fan, call the blower. The reason is standard fan blades, or if you think of like a ceiling fan or like any other various like, they don't have, it's called the squirrel, this is called a squirrel cage, and that's actually what it's called, is a squirrel cage. So the reason why we use this for like HVAC systems and various things is this type of, let's see here, what's the word? Technology? This works better against what's called static pressure, which is basically like the, which is the resistance. So in like a traditional HVAC system, like right above this, well, in the furnace that this came out of, there was a secondary heat exchanger, a primary heat exchanger, and then an evaporator coil, and then all the various ductwork and registers of the home. And that's all, and that all contributes a fair amount of resistance. And one of the things you gotta do when you build one of these, please tell me you'll stay there, is we've got to make what's called a constrictor plate. So it's not going to be this piece of metal, but this is just for demonstration purposes, right? We're gonna, it's also not long enough. This was just a piece of scrap I grabbed for earlier, but we're gonna have to like constrict the airflow in order for the blower to have that resistance. We have to artificially make that resistance. Otherwise, without that resistance, the motor is just going to spool up something terrible, and it will try to kill, basically try to kill itself. Unideal circumstance. So, no tools off to the side. Heat, because I'm gonna get a pretty nice, see if I can't get a good action shot for about what we're roughly about what we're gonna do. So I've got some scrap metal. I'm gonna, so this is the, where did my marker from? There we go. There's my marker. Okay. Okay, marker. So, mark. Well, look, there's a mark, and also an egregious amount of shadows caused by unnecessary amounts of light getting reflected back into the camera. But hey, we're gonna take our handy dandy sheet metal shears, and we're gonna cut some sheet metal. There we go. Cut in the world, but it doesn't have to be the cleanest cut in the world. Oh. Here. Need you to be accessible, but kind of, sort of. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab amp clamp. So let's see here. Orange is my low wire. will do this. I am gonna make sure I can get this visible. So where is the alternating current amps? Oh yeah, you can actually see that. Nice. Cool. So we're drawing 0 amps right now. So this motor is gonna have basically its ideal amp setting. Basically how many amps it ideally wants to draw. So plug this bad boy in, and we're gonna see what it does unrestricted. And it's gonna do a quick look, because when this spools up, I don't want it to just send stuff flying. So let's try low speed. What's our amperage? Oh wow, that's like 4.7 amps. Is it gonna stay that way? Man, that sounds nice though. No rattling. Yeah. Okay. So we're just gonna check what the amperage is at the various speeds. So that settled at 4.7. Oh. Whoops. That's why it's not showing me any amps, because I did not have that on my red. I needed to move it. That's my DC. You don't want DC amps. You want... Okay. We'll just hold it. So, this is... Red is medium low. So this is the next stage up. Woo! 10? Whoa, 9? So, Huh. Okay. This is really drawing a fair amount of amps, and this motor, granted, I do know that the capacitor on this motor is actually a little weak, so disconnected, reconnecting. Oh, that's fun. Reconnection successful. Thank you, OBS Studio. I think a lot of people have been having like issues with like the disconnecting and reconnecting. Okay, cool. So blue wire. Yeah, we're using blue. Blues are medium high. So this is basically like this is our third stage speed. So this is gonna be our third switch. What's our amps? Okay, yeah, we're putting that off. So this is the speed that we're definitely going to be over amping on. So I would like to find a place where I could set this so we can see it while at the same time mess with the restrictor plates. There you go, Makita. That's your true purpose in the world. So our amperage got up to like, I think I was seeing like 13 something. So we're gonna put our restrictor plate. We're gonna start figuring out how much we need to restrict that in order to get that amperage down. So hit it. Amperage really spikes up. 14, 13. Whoa. Okay. So that's 9. And that's 6. Okay. Oh gosh. Woo! I'm really glad I looked at everything before I It's like, hey, let's fire this up. Okay, cool. So our restrictor plate is going to go here, roughly around about. Move it a hair bit up, but that will keep the motor from doing its overamp, or the thing that would kill it. We don't want a dead motor. We want a happy, healthy, and alive mode. So, add the drill, grab some self-tapping screws, and start playing. Ideally. If it will decide to go in. Let's see here. Actually, I want to try standard sheet mill screw. I want to see how these will hold up to the... I want to see if they'll actually like sink in a bit more readily than the self-tapping ones. The self-tapping ones seemed like they went in pretty... Oh. Granted, I don't have the best support. Okay. Well, that answered my question. We're pre-drilling holes. We're gonna... I will find. Okie dokie. So, this section. It smells tough. This is, I don't want to overheat the bit. Bit hot? Okay. It's not too hot. That's good. You really don't want to, like... When you're drilling metal, you really don't want to go too fast. You don't want to, like, go real fast. You want to go with a more slower speed. Yeah, like that. Cool. Cool. Into which we can affix a screw. So, hopefully, it won't be too difficult to... Oh yeah, that's going nowhere. Yay! So, what that screw is also going to do for us is going to basically help hold the metal and everything in place. So when we go to do more holes, now it won't want to like do stuff we don't want it to do. Bit. So just want to make sure that bit's not getting too hot. worst thing you can do to your bits, because bits get too hot. Because if the end of your bit gets too hot, you're gonna burn it and basically ruin it. You don't want to do that. But yeah, this metal's just real tough. So it's just gonna be like, this is definitely just something we're gonna want to like take our time with and drill out and do everything properly. We don't want to ruin our bits. We don't want to have any trouble over lower house. Yeah. Once we get this horse, get some more like screws and whatnot in this. Like, this thing's gonna be ready for action. And I'm gonna double check the amps once we get everything like done. Well, it's just been kind of like holding it outside my comfort zone, and it's been a little hard on the arm. Great, I only have to make one more of these cursed holes. Yeah, it just turns out like that edge metal is just so thick. Boom! Wait, we get one more screw on that, and we're gonna have a secure restrictor plate. Let's test that bit. Ooh. Got plenty of metal shavings on it. Come on, any day now. Hot dog. Ah! Man, that really worked up a kink in my arm for some reason. Okay, so we'll get this final screw in, fastened, all that fun stuff, and okay. So set this off to the side a little bit. Still have... One hand, I want to show the blade spinning, because who doesn't love a good set of spinning blades of doom? Probably shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so let's see how many amps we get. 14, 13, 6.5 amps of power with the restrictor plate. So let's see what our mid-low is. Oh wait, I gotta move my clamp. Damn it, I want to see the start-up amps. Mid-low is going to be red. Okay. So, what is the amperage? 9, 8, 7, 6. Low 6. Woo! I have to move the restrictor plate. Neat. Alright. Now we're gonna do... Let's show this. It should be orange. Oh. Hit the wrong switch. That's orange. Oh wow. 6.1. Huh, that's cool. That's actually really cool. Like adding the restrictor plate brought all the amperages closer together, because I think when we were testing this earlier, the amperage from orange was like 4, which this is actually really interesting, because like I think we had like 4, 9, and like 14 or 13 for high. Those were like our amperage sets. Now with the restrictor plate, actually, if I restrict it, the amperage goes down. So that's like 4. But then you reduce it, that pulls the amps back up. Neat. Actually, I'm gonna have some fun. Woo. 3 amps. Granted, it also sounds like it's fighting for its life there. Hot diggity dog. Whoa. But yeah, real nice airflow off of it. Man. This was fun. This is actually genuinely fun. So we got our restrictor plate. We have ourselves a little piece of sheet metal down here. Basically a buffer. Keep it. Actually, I'm gonna have it pointed in that direction. I kinda... If I back off. Maybe a little bit better of a side view. But let's see what we get in terms of... Pulls up. Wow. That's some airflow. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Actually, man, I really want to like get like a... Man, can I get like a real... I would like that. I would like that a lot. Oh man, this is... I think this is about as good as I can get it. No, I can do better. I can... Woo! There we go. Nearly the full build in its full glory. Kind of want to get the restrictor plate in there because this is actually real important for it to not overamp at high speeds. But yeah. Brandon, please don't blow too many terrible things. Listen to it go! Hell yeah! And maximum power. Oh man! Also, that cord's not gonna go anywhere. Ah, yes, I love it. I love it so much. Like, this was a really simple, really straightforward build. I don't know if eventually I might add some like some bars, reinforcing bars. Well, not reinforcing bars. Best explain this idea. Like something like maybe like this, where maybe if I wanted to have like a slight up tilt to it, maybe get it a little bit more off the ground. Granted, that bottom piece is actually doing an like. It's actually one thing I do like about the fact that when you turn it on, it's pretty stable. It's not moving anywhere. I think it's causing my lights to flicker when I turn this thing on. But we'll go with low speed for now. And granted, I also originally had an idea to maybe add hardware cloth to the outer side, just to keep it from like keep dumb people's fingers out of the spinning blades of doom, but no, this is great. This is great. But yeah, so this has been just the best. This is a good stream. This is a good build. Who knows? Maybe this is like a little bit crooked or whatever. I don't care. Get all that. There. So, thank you so much. Sorry that this build here today has been a bit small, a bit not as much of a to-do, but considering how much of a to-do the miter saw station has been, it has actually been really nice to just have like an actual like small project to work on. Just something quick, something you do like in an hour and a half. And hey, you know what? If you want to do this at home, like you can definitely do this at home. The electrical wiring is very simple. You do want to make sure you tidy up your wires with zip ties, and you want to make sure you have good electrical connections. But this is a shot blower. I might experiment with replacing the capacitor, because this motor is supposed to have a 10 microfarad capacitor, which this is, but this might be the original capacitor to this motor, and therefore this capacitor is like old, like 30 years old. So this might be due for replacement. And if I replace this, it might bring those amps down a little bit more, but we'll see. But I think that was like the coolest thing of this build, was just seeing how much the restrictor plate actually like affected the amp draw. Because earlier we had like 4 some odd amps here, we had 9 here, and then we had like 13, 14 here. And then we added a restrictor plate, and then everything was like settled into within 1 amp of each other. So I now got a shot blower. I now have a means to really have some like serious airflow in here. which is going to be real nice, especially if I were to ever do a brewing stream again, because yeah, it does get very warm in here. Even though I do keep like a door open, and as you can kind of see, this is kind of like a basement-y type of place. So I can like, it's not too terrible, but it is definitely gotten a little hot when you're over a brew kettle all day. So thank you very much to everyone who came by. This is pretty much going to be it for this build here today. And so let's see, Saturday at 11 a.m. EDT will be the next stream. So next stream is going to be harvesting potatoes. I will actually be bringing in the container potato harvest. I have 6 containers of potatoes. I have 2 varieties in those 6 pots. We're gonna harvest potatoes, probably do a little bit of talking about like how to cultivate potatoes, and then so there's gonna be that, and that. So I'm gonna talk about the growing of the potatoes and that stuff, and also fun weird fact, those potatoes were actually planted on stream, and that was my first stream before I had like any idea of how to troubleshoot audio problems. And yeah, there's reasons why you won't find that anymore on YouTube, because I took it off because like, oh gosh, the audio was so bad. But every day I feel like getting closer and closer to what I wish to achieve with this, which is great. So to all of you who tuned in, thank you very much. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, night, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you Saturday, and that's all for today. So thanks. Bye-bye. Ah!